Finding the right contractor is one of the most important things whenever you flip a house, and most new real estate investors don't even know how to do that. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you the top 5 ways that I myself find contractors. And if you're new to the channel, my name's Justin Urong. I'm a real estate investor and entrepreneur here in Las Vegas. I've made hundreds of videos teaching people about real estate, and the goal of this channel is to help you grow your money and mindset. Also, if you want to see more personal content, follow me on Instagram at Justin Urong. The number one way I find contractors is from referrals. I absolutely love word of mouth because I have found my best contractors from word of mouth and just from other people. So typically how I do this is I network with a lot of people, and if you're just getting started in this business, I highly recommend for you to do the same. So here's how I specifically do it. I will text or message on Instagram the real estate investors that I know in my area and ask them, hey, do you have any contractors that you'd recommend who are investor friendly? Because they're investors themselves. And it's not just the real estate investors I'll reach out to, it's also just other people in real estate. I'll ask maybe other real estate agents specifically for investor friendly contractors, because a lot of people use just high-end contractors who will charge you a lot more. They're probably licensed, and oftentimes it just doesn't make sense to use those kind of contractors for these house flips because the numbers have to make sense, and usually we're on a pretty strict budget. And the other thing that I love about using referrals to find contractors, especially from other real estate investors, is that they've used them before, most likely. And you can always ask them about their experiences. So if I ever ask a real estate investor, hey, can you refer me a contractor that you've used, or maybe that you prefer, or maybe that you'll recommend? Usually they'll text me the contractor, their contact info, as well as maybe a little bit of a backstory of what their experience with them was like, so that I have an understanding myself. So if they tell me, this guy was amazing on this past flip that we did, try to use him, see how it goes. Or if they just say, hey, I haven't used him yet, but all my friends love him, so maybe try this person. Or they can just say, hey, this was a referral, never used them before, try it out. And I might still be willing to try it out, just depending on how the relationship is with that contractor or what his bid is, his or her bid, I'm sorry. Another thing that I'll do to get contractor referrals is by using social media. So literally on my Instagram stories, or just I'll make a post about it. If, hey, I'm looking for a contractor in this area who can refer me an investor-friendly contractor. DM me their name and their number and maybe what your experience is. So I'll use this all the time. I love using social media to hire people. In fact, I think almost all of my people that I've hired have come from social media, and that's 10 to 13 people. I kind of forget right now, but it's roughly in the 10 range. So everyone for the most part has come from social media, and I use it all the time, especially for contractors. The second way that I'll find contractors is by using Facebook groups, believe it or not. And this is exactly how I'll do it. So I'll go to Facebook on my profile, I'll go to the search bar, and I'll type in anything that's involving real estate investing. So I'll type in real estate investor group for Fresno, California, because that's my market. Or I'll type in real estate wholesaling Fresno, California. Or I'll type in contractors Fresno, California. I'm essentially trying to look up all the groups that involves real estate investing, flipping houses, contractors, real estate. I might even join some realtor groups. So I might say realtor groups Fresno, California. So in every single group that I join, and I'm gonna join all of them that relates to stuff like this, I'll be typing something like, hey, I am looking for a contractor to do a house flip and a rehab in this area. Does anyone have any recommendations? I want contractors that are investor friendly. Any feedback or any suggestions are highly appreciated. So I'll put a message something like that in all the groups, and I'll just wait for people to respond. And if I still can't find any that way, I could also individually message a lot of the people in those groups, and I'm sure they'll have plenty of recommendations too. I haven't had to do that yet, but I've done it on a small scale, but I haven't just spam messaged everyone, which maybe you shouldn't do. But for the most part, just by posting in all those groups, people are generally pretty happy to provide referrals. And I suggest for you to do that if you are not already finding contractors from other referrals. So this is kind of like referrals too, but specifically using Facebook groups, and it's super powerful. The third way that I'll find contractors is by going to Home Depot early in the morning. So in my markets, Home Depot opens about 6 a.m. So I'll try to go to Home Depot, literally drive there myself, 6 a.m. At least I did this when I was in my market. I'd get there right when it opened, and I try to find who is walking in the door, because they're typically general contractors. All the people walking in at Home Depot at 6 a.m. Normal people have no reason to go to Home Depot at 6 a.m. Contractors do, because that's what their job is, especially the ones that hustle. So you want to find these kind of contractors, because these are the guys that are willing to hustle and put the work in and wake up super early to get your job done on time. So for anyone walking in the store that early in the morning, I try to approach these people because I assume that they're contractors, and I always try to ask. Also, if you're gonna do this, you have to understand that these people are most likely working. So they're on a job right now, they're working. You don't wanna waste their time. So typically what I do is this. I will simply just go up to them, introduce myself as a real estate investor, and just let them know that I'm always looking for good contractors, and I ask if they're a contractor. If they are, I might ask a little bit more questions about maybe what they do and if they work with investors often. And if I get a good feel from them, I'll typically exchange numbers with them and Instagrams. And Instagram exchanging is good because if they do showcase their work on their Instagram, it's a great way for you to see what kind of work that they do and if you really do want to work with this kind of person. But definitely get their number so that you can call them whenever you have a new project that needs to be bid on. The fourth way I'll find contractors is called dumpster driving. So I'll admit I don't do this too often, but if I do see a dumpster, at least when I was in my market and living in my market, I would do this. So I would drive around for whatever I was doing, whatever errand I was running, and if I was ever to pass by neighborhoods and I saw a big blue dumpster in front of the houses, I would go up to the house, try to knock on the door, see if anyone's working on it, and most likely there's gonna be a contractor there. I'd introduce myself, kind of the same approach as the Home Depot approach, where I just approach them, say, hey, I'm an investor, I'm always looking for good contractors, and I'll just ask them, hey, like, are you doing this for a flipper, or kind of what are you doing? What do you normally do? And again, if I have a good feel from them, I'll exchange contact information, and maybe, just maybe, they'll be willing to show me the inside of the home if maybe they're done with their work, so I can see how they manage their work site, what kind of work they do. Not every contractor is going to be willing to do this for you because again, they're working for another client right now, but some might be able to. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the common theme that we have so far finding contractors is through other people. Some way, shape, or form, you're going to be speaking to other people to find these contractors. So real estate, I want you to understand that it is completely a people business. You can't be afraid to be talking to people or reaching out to people or going up to random houses because that's the name of the business, that's the game. And finally, the fifth way that I'll find contractors is through websites on the internet. So these are things like google.com, yelp.com, and thumbtack.com. These are all great sites to look at for contractors. You simply have to type in your market and general contractors. So maybe if you're on Google, general contractors Fresno, California, if that's your market. Or if you're on thumbtack.com, general contractors Fresno, California. Same goes for Yelp. And the thing I want you to realize about using these kind of sites to find contractors is that usually the top results are the people who pay a lot of money to stay up there because they're SEO based, they're search engine optimized, and they pay to be at the top. Like, I've been an independent contractor before as a personal trainer, and I used a site like thumbtack.com. It's essentially a place for contractors or independent contractors in whatever industry to post your services. And so you're in the kind of weird ranking system of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. And I literally paid to be near the top so that anytime someone searched up personal trainers, Fresno, California, I'd pop up. The same exact thing goes to contractors. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because just because someone pays a lot to be at the top, it doesn't mean they're the best or the cheapest. And in fact, it probably means that they're not the cheapest because they have the money to spend on marketing. So some of the best contractors that you're gonna find through these things on the internet, like Google, Yelp, or Thumbtack, they're usually gonna be lower in the search results. So definitely do not be afraid to like call all the contractors all on the list for Yelp, Thumbtack, Google, especially the people lower on the list. Now, I'm not saying the people lower on the list are better. I'm just saying the people at the top pay money to be there, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they're the best. So don't be afraid to call anyone that you find on the internet. And also, if you want help to grow your real estate business, whether you're brand new, if you already got deals under your belt, DM me the word coach on Instagram at JustinYou'reWrong. Peace.